Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game number 2 alongside... Say hi.
Hi.
Alright, my oldest daughter still wanted to say hi, so apparently she is going to be coming at you, well, alongside me. She has been watching me cast, and well, I am Mr. Mom this week as my wife is out for work, and I will be casting perhaps some of these games with my children at home. Alright, my other daughter wants to see what's happening as well. So, let's do this. Alright, so let's take a look at this. What's happening? Worker now spawning as the yellow orc on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Gonna speed things up to 4 times speed at the very least. Meanwhile, we see PwNuWaN spawning as, or I'm just gonna call him Wan right now, as the purple orc. Purple orc versus yellow, purple undead versus yellow orc. As things are getting underway, it is going to be a Blade Master going up against a Death Knight. This time, however, it looks as though the Death Knight was trained up at the normal speed, building that Altar of Darkness immediately, and that does mean we are going in for ghouls. That ghoul opening a little bit more of a harassment based, and we'll see what the Death Knight is really hoping to do here. He did not go Unholy Aura, which is much more common of a typical undead versus night elf harassment, as he may, yes, take down that sheep and then defy the laws of thermodynamics with magic and build 2 skeletal minions with swords and shields. Oh, conservation of mass, I guess. Anyways, let's go ahead and come across over here. Death Knight now gonna continue to engage against these units. It looks as though one Forest Troll Trapper will get taken down here. Meanwhile, oh, but Death Coil to save a skeletal minion, or at least add a little bit of extra damage. There is a Tome of Agility. That actually comes as a bit of a surprise here, as the Death Knight is away. The Blade Master now perhaps looking for where the undead is, not suspecting that his own creep camp has been cleared out. A little bit of a head-scratching move as Worker getting double faked here. He may try and go after that Ogre Magi to perhaps get that item again, as a Grunt does now start joining the fight. Alright, everyone is stealing each other's creeps, essentially. Death Knight now gonna go ahead and continue this no brew creep camp here. He's gonna be very close to level 2 after this. This no Kobold Geomancer might just be enough to finish it off, as you see this Kobold Geomancer here taking a bit of damage. Blade Master now sitting at level 2, he picks up Claws of Attack +6 and after clearing down 2 level 5 creeps. Now, what's happening overall? The Blade Master versus that Death Knight. Skeletal Minion still coming in inside here, as the Death Knight may try and wander back down inside this space to do a bit of harassment. Blade Master now finally figuring out that, you know what, during that time, my opponent was not asleep at the wheel. He was, in fact, trying to engage and doing something fairly well here. As you now see, some of the peons are going to get taken down. So 2 peons have already been lost here, as more skeletal minions are still engaging. Alright, skeletal minion number 1 now taken down. Skeletal minion number 2 now taken down. As all of them have been taken down, 1 or 2 workers have been lost. But then again, considering that Worker had 6 peons on his gold mine in game number 1, he really won't know the difference. Death Knight heading over here to the top left-hand side of the map. He does have a couple of Crypt Fiends, and we are nearly at Halls of the Dead. I am expecting the training of a Lich once more, as the Blade Master is going to go ahead and finish off a Null Overseer and pick up a second Claws of Attack +6. At level 2, already having +14 damage, and this is the items that Worker, I believe, was looking for on Turtle Rock. Didn't seem to get it as much, but it looks as though things are going to be changing up once again, as the Death Knight now chasing after, or getting chased by, that Blade Master. Blade Master chasing after that Death Knight. No, please do not play with that, Evie. As we now see the Death Knight now heading back off to the north there, you can see that the Blade Master can get in the occasional hit, as almost runs into a group of grunts. Oh, that is going to be a big deal. Trying to circle back around. Can the Death Knight actually get away? Alright, so apparently my daughter singing Ring Around the Rosie, and the Death Knight Well, is, well, gonna be trying to run away, trying to down. Yep, that's exactly what's happening here as the Crypt now gonna be joining on that fight.
A player's forces are under attack.
Alright, I can't help but laugh right now. Alright, Death Knight and Crypt Fiends now coming back across over here. It looks as though this creep camp, this Forest Troll Trapper can get cleared out here pretty quickly. The other Ogre Magi was taken out, if you remember, and dropped a positive attack +6 for that Blade Master. Now we are going to finish off the rest of this Ogre Warrior creep camp. Death Knight almost sitting at level 3 as the Death Knight now heading back over here to the top left. Shadowhunter now joining in on the fight. Gonna finish off this 5-3-3 creep camp as well. Blade Master will get to level 3, and the Shadowhunter has picked up a Wand of the Wind. Now I'm not quite sure where that very, very powerful red item was picked up from. Was it taken out over here? Yes. The main level 6 creep was taking down the Forest Troll Warlord and giving that Wand of the Wind, and we may see the Death Knight get picked up at a very, very inopportune time. Back down across over here, Raiders are being added. I don't see the Spirit Lodge anywhere, and that may be the problem for Worker. Worker perhaps forgot that you're supposed to generally go double Raiders or double bestiary against an undead in order to really not feed the powerful destroyers. All right, Frost Armor now down there. Blade Master unable to get the necessary damage. +16 attack on that Blade Master at this stage in the game. +4, or at a minimum of 45 damage, as we're now looking at an Orb of Corruption handed off to that Lich. Alright, Blade Master still wandering around here. Shadowhunter sitting at level 2 has a replenishment potion. Could be using that momentarily. Low hit point Raider, as we are going to be doing a little bit of defense here as Worker heading back home. Blade Master now coming back down across the south here. Getting in some attacks onto, note, the Obsidian Statue. Yeah, the Blade Master did turn invisible. Thank you very much, Arya. As the Blade Master is right there. He's a shadow of his former self. Well, not quite. But the Blade Master now looking to try and engage. Yep, that is a sheep.
Town is under siege.
All right, let's take a look. The skeletal minions doing a little bit of damage here. Worker is taking some damage on a peon, and a Kodo Beast was right there. He could have just attacked and given a little bit of experience, but that was not the case. Null over here looks like it could get taken down. Yes, there it goes. Wand of Illusion, a fairly useful consumable, as the Lich now sitting at level 2. Frost Nova now definitely on the table, able to slow down units, able to deal a little bit of damage, making it that much more difficult to try and run away from the undead. Back down across over here, Healing Wave bouncing around. Grunts now taking that down here. Meanwhile, back across at the 3 o'clock location, more clearing by the undead, doing a good job clearing those out, and it looks like a couple of Null Assassins will get taken down. The Blade Master stole the Puript of Vitality, a powerful item, I believe. Yeah, he stole the Puript of Vitality. That was a huge item steal. Yeah, Lich doesn't have it. Dark Ranger doesn't have it. The Death Knight doesn't have any new consumable or new permanent items, and that is pretty much it there. Now the Blade Master. Yep, a Red Drake is currently in the air as the units are looking to try and engage right there. Tome of Agility +2. Pick that up before the Blade Master walks back. Dark Ranger now getting in some attacks as well. Red Drake will end up getting felled here in just a moment. As you can see, the Red Drake will get taken down. There it goes. Scourge Bone Chimes onto that Death Knight. A little bit of help for that Death Knight, but not very much help for any of the other units. All right, the sheep is right there. All right, coming back across over here. Kodo Beast looking to engage. Going to finish creeping this out. Talisman of Evasion picked up by the Shadowhunter. Very, very powerful item. to avoid a couple of attacks, maybe given to the Blade Master later, since the Blade Master is so often in the front lines, but he most likely just wants a potion of invulnerability. All right, let's take a look over here. Orc Burrows have the fortified armor from Fortress. Interesting that we actually see fortified armor. This is not something you see every day. Undead actually going to tier 3 with a specific reason, to try and protect those Orc Burrows. Blade Master now able to defend and head back. Troll Headhunter now currently out on the field. More and more Headhunters now being trained. It looks like as though the Undead gonna lead the charge here. Crypt Fiends may try and at least stop a couple of production on units, as the Death Knight now looking to engage here. Blade Master now engaging. Oh, Silence going across. Cyclone on the Death Knight. As soon as she figured out which Death Knight was the real one, that quickly got picked up. Healing Wave unable to save a unit. Blade Master picking up the Death Knight again, or sorry, the Shadow Hunter picking it up again, as we're still looking to engage. Yep, as we see the Destroyers are just absolutely owning the air right now, as the Blade Master now going after, oh, the Lich. Lich gets taken down after a 231 critical strike, and Worker easily takes game number 2. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed game 2. Please stay tuned for game number 3.
Goodbye.